cool. Happy Friday, everybody. And today we're going to talk about what you do once you get the listing, with marketing and stuff that's automated um, that you can do for your listings and, with it, using the tools that we offer at CBE. So let us get started. Here we go. I've got this. All right. So in case you don't know who the voice on the other side of the screen is, this is Angel. And if you have any questions at all about the webinar after the fact, if you don't get a chance to ask the question, you can email me, of course, at angel@cbeva.com. And so, hang on. There we go. Okay, so first, before we get into the actual listing marketing and automation part, I wanted to talk about the foundations really of what you need to have before you even get started marketing your listing. So first you need to have a plan and a marketing strategy and a budget. What do you offer when you're on your listing presentation? What is it that you're telling your seller that you're going to do? You need to have the list, whether you're using the Elite Edge marketing brochure or you have your own list. You need to know exactly what you're offering and what makes it different than all the other agents out there. A lot of agents will simply just put it in the MLS and hope that, it sticks, that Zillow will do its thing and then they'll find buyers that way, or, just you need to have a differentiating factor, especially if you are competing with other agents. And how much are you willing to spend on marketing your listing? So you need to know that information up front. So if you're doing aerial photos, if it makes sense for the house, or you're doing a 3D tour or just professional photos, you need to have an idea of how much you're spending per listing so that you can convey that benefit to the seller. Remember to talk about some of the marketing tasks that you might think is normal that every agent does, but if you talk about it and your competitor doesn't, it gives you an edge. So, for example, we know that we all enhance the Realtor.com listings out there with a better description and stuff like that. If it's important to talk about those things that you think are simple and that everybody does, but if you're not conveying that to the seller, they don't know. It doesn't matter. They don't know that you're actually doing these things. Photography. We all know that photos are important, and this is critical. This is a representation of your services. This represents your listing. The house needs to be presented accurately. So, things like wide angle lenses, you need to take it easy on that. Make sure that the house online reflects the home accurately. Bad photos are worse than no photos. If I'm a consumer out there and I see a bad photo, I'm going to eliminate that house immediately. But if there are no photos, I'm actually probably more likely to see that house because I want to see what's inside. So don't activate your listings with mediocre photos and then say you're going to put the professional photos on later. Wait till you have the really nice professional photos before you put the listing in the MLS, because that sends it to all of the different websites and some of them may not even update. So make sure you have the right professional photos before you activate your property. And you have to remember that every consumer is mobile based and they're just flipping through listing after listing. You need to captivate them with the photos that you have online. And it's not rocket science. More views on your property means more interested buyers, and you can do that by telling a story with photography. Zillow has done a lot of studies actually, and they're taking the stats that they have on their website and they've published it on Zillow.com. And with the photos, they said that a home with fewer than 9 photos is 20% less likely to sell in 60 days than a home with 20 to 27 photos. We all know this. Hopefully some of this is just a reminder for you guys. Pricing and timing, this is really important. Pricing your property correctly means less time on the market. In the first 2 weeks of marketing is critical. That's when you're going to see the most showing. So a lot of your listing marketing stuff really happens behind the scenes before that house even hits the MLS. Videos and 3D tours. This really has to be part of your marketing strategy. It allows you to tell a story of the home in a real way. They're not just reading some words on a screen. It's an immersive experience for the buyer. So you have, your Matterport 3D tours. If it makes sense for the house, if it's a large home that you want to give that again, like that immersive experience, do that. Don't forget about the community when you're doing videos. This is the best way to tell a story about the lifestyle of that house and that community. And videos, community videos especially, have a really long shelf life. So if you upload that to YouTube, that's going to be working for you, marketing for you all the time. Oops, okay, hang on. Let's go back here. Okay, so let's talk about listing distribution. I'm going to focus on, the two main consumer websites because this is where the consumers are. This is where your property is going to be viewed. So Zillow, once it's in the MLS and it pops into Zillow, you need to enhance that listing description. You need to do the walkthrough video with the Zillow proprietary app. What it is if you've never done it, it's you need to download the Zillow app. It actually will only allow you to do a 2-minute max on the video, and there's no audio. So if for those of you out there that are afraid of video, this is the perfect thing because you don't have to show your face, you don't even have to talk. You can just walk through the house and just make sure that it's not shaky or anything like that. But Zillow will allow you to do this free walkthrough app so that you get more engagement on your listings. That way they're going to show it more on Zillow. You can also send seller reports through Zillow. If you want to do the professional video on Zillow, you do have to pay unless you partner with a photographer that has a relationship with Zillow. The videos not only offer deeper insight into the homes, it gives the listings a boost in your property search results. The professional video cost for Zillow is $149 per video. So it's definitely worth it to do the free walkthrough through the Zillow proprietary app. When you are creating your description, what message are you sending to that consumer? There's only a couple of different places where you can tell the story, tell the lifestyle of that house when you're marketing your listing. The description is one of them. This is not the place to repeat the facts about the home, the fact that it has 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. They can read all of that information. You need to use words to paint a picture for them. Everybody reads a description. And Zillow actually took a lot of their data and took some of the keywords that agents were using. And they found that if an agent used the word luxurious more, it sold for, I think, 8.2% more than a listing that didn't. So that was actually pretty interesting. The word captivating was sold for 6.5% more. And on the flip side of that, they found that if you use the word bargain or nice, there was another word they used, it actually sold for less than the asking price. So what you say on the description really matters. Realtor.com, this is obviously your consumers are also going to be in here. Realtor.com gives us a lot more freedom as to what we put on the listing page. So your description, you can actually have up to 2,500 characters as opposed to the MLS, which is only 400. You can upload up to 100 photos on Realtor.com. You can also put your link for your virtual tour or your 3D tour right on Realtor.com, and you can add your seller to the listing information so that they can get automated reports as to how the property is doing. It basically will, sending these seller reports will show the seller how your expertise is translating into consumer interest in that listing. All right, List Hub. So will send your listings to hundreds of websites out there that has IDX. The one nice thing about List Hub, and I don't know if you guys are aware, You can create your own free List Hub account. So you can just go on listhub.com and create your own, but there is an Agent Pro account that will provide you and your seller with metrics on how that property is doing online. So you can get a report. It's actually done pretty well. It's a report that you can send to your seller that has all the different websites and how that property is performing. And even though List Hub does not send the MLS data to Trulia, Zillow, or Realtor.com, they have the metrics for those sites. So List Hub is the one place where you can have, all these numbers about how the property is doing. So that's an option for you guys. If you've never gone on List Hub, just check it out, and you actually learn a lot of information from there. All right, so Paradigm Listing Portal. This is going to be your custom website for your listing, and it really needs to be customized. It's fine the way it is. If you don't want to do any kind of customization, that's okay, but you really should go in there and actually customize it so that it has more information than what's on your Zillow property site or your Realtor.com property site. If you're doing any ads, and if you've customized the listing page on Paradigm, that's where I would send all of your ads to. So a couple of things. I'm actually going to hop off of the presentation in a minute and show you Paradigm. Just a couple of things on Paradigm real quick. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but I think it is really awesome. So first of all, Paradigm will auto-generate tours for you. If you're a new agent and you don't have any listings yet, you don't have auto tours turned on. So that's something that we have to watch for. So when you get your first listing, that you have to notify us, and basically we'll turn on auto tour based on that MLS number. So if you're an existing agent, you already have tours, you don't have to worry about anything. So it is a customizable property website. Videos are automatically created for you, but you can enhance that with your own voice, change the music and stuff like that. You can actually also upload and add custom information. And I'm going to show you guys that real quick after. There's auto social postings that will automatically go out if you set it, but you can also manually schedule your social posts. And then again, it has the automated seller reports if you set it that way. So let me see. Hopefully you guys can see my Paradigm dashboard. So this is an old listing that I had. A couple of things in here. You can obviously, under details, you can edit all the details in there, but under the social media campaigns, if I click on this, it'll give me all the social media campaigns, and let me sign back in. It'll give me all the social media campaigns that I've set. Right now, I don't have anything set for this property, and it's a listing that has sold, so I'm not going to have anything in there. But if I did want to, I can just click on one of these icons. If I want to send a Twitter post out, I can just type in here. Oops. You're going to want a better post than that, but you can actually schedule your post. So you can even set 5 or 6 posts for the next 2 weeks. You sit down one afternoon and do all of your social posts, and then set it and just forget it. It can go out at the time that you pick, or there's also a smart scheduler that will pick the time for you. That way you're not sitting there, thinking about what to post. You can do it all at once, which is really awesome. Paradigm has the ability to do the automatic social posting. I honestly, it's fine to do that, but I don't really like the auto social post, because I want every post that I have about this house with my voice. So I want, the consumers, my friends and family, whoever's going to see it online, to know that it's me and it's not just some generic post that you see about listings all the time. So I would take the time and schedule the posts here, and you can talk about a specific feature of the house in each post. Whether, it's a great backyard or the nice kitchen. You don't have to just say, hey, here's my listing, look at it. Nobody cares. Nobody's going to want to look at it unless you persuade them to actually click on a link because of something cool that you're showing them. All right, I'm going to cancel that. One other thing I wanted to show you on Paradigm is the custom tools right here. You can actually upload different information about the house. So if you have a plat or a floor plan, the disclosure statement, you can put all that in here and it's going to show up on the page. So the point of customizing your Paradigm listing page is that you want information in there that they can't find anywhere else, that they can't go to Zillow and find a floor plan of the house or a plat of the house. So all that information that you have about the house, you can put all of that in here. If you have a home book that has more information about the improvements in the house and all that stuff, you can put all of that in here. Let me go back. I want to show you what this looks like. I think. Okay, so this is the page. Okay, so under more, this is where the uploaded documents that you've put in. So this is my plat. So it's just another nice feature that Paradigm has that you're not going to have on the other websites. Close this. If you haven't done the Paradigm training, I would highly suggest you guys do that. Paradigm will do that for you one-on-one. So they'll actually go through your entire profile. So setting up your social media stuff, setting up the automated stuff. They're really great with the training, and it can be as intensive or as simple as you want. If you just have a quick question, they'll help you with that. So it's support@paradigm.com, and then they also have the phone number is at the bottom of the page somewhere. If you don't have it, I can email it to you later. Just email me. All right, I think that's the main thing with Paradigm. On the mobile app on Paradigm, you can actually record your own voice. So if you're doing an open house and you want to promote that online, you can do a video with the photos that you have here, but just your voice, and you're promoting whatever events you're having at the house. So, and it's really easy. Once you download the app, the credentials that you use on the desktop is the same on the app. So you can go ahead and play with that. It's super easy. All right, so that is Paradigm. And CBX and social media. I know we've talked about this, but honestly, it really does work. CBX actually just went through a redesign. This came out maybe a couple weeks ago. It was, or maybe even just last week. Mid-April was when they were launching this new redesign. So what they've done is they've actually taken the neighborhood profile and the buyer profile and kind of combined it into one, because it was confusing, I guess, to some agents to explain to the seller, well, we're going to talk about the buyers, but then the next page is going to be the neighborhood. So they've put it all together in one page, and they have some overlays that you can use. The beauty of CBX is you can just choose what you want to show, and you don't have to show everything. All right, so this particular house is a house in Garrisonville. It's on 610, and this is showing me the buyer profile for the people that might be interested in the property. So it actually will tell you the percentage match. The darker the color is, the higher the match is. And they have a new propensity to buy. So it actually will give you the percentage of the people that are likely to buy within 12 months in that area. So it's really cool. What I love about CBX is it gives you an insight as to who the consumers are for that property. So it tells you that their median age is 37 years old. Homes with children is about 43%. Average family size is 3.5. And it tells you what they do. So they like favorite TV format is drama, comedy, reality. I mean, it just gives you a lot of insight. And some of this stuff it seems silly, but what it does is when you're presenting it to the seller, it allows them to see you as an expert in the market and that you know who your target consumer is. So when you're doing any kind of advertising, you know who to target because you have the data to back it up. So I love the new CBX. If you guys haven't checked it out, go on cbx.coldbanker.com or on your app. It should already be updated. You may need to update the apps, of course, but the desktop one is because it's web-based. You don't need to do anything about that. If your sellers has any questions about the data, it's all on the bottom. It tells you where they're pulling that data from. All right, so, geez, I'm gonna get the hang of this. I'm using Google Slides today, and I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with it. Okay, so this is another overlay with the data from CBX. It gives you the profiles in that neighborhood. So it kind of gives you an insight of who the people are. So right here in Fredericksburg, the top segment is soccer moms. And it gives you a description of what that might be. So it's an affluent, family-oriented market with a country flavor, which is, I guess, true. Residents are partial to new housing away from the bustle of the city, but close enough to commute to professional job centers. Also true. Life in the suburban wilderness offsets the hectic pace of two working parents with growing children. They favor time-saving devices like banking online or housekeeping services in family-oriented pursuits. Again, this just gives you that expertise in front of your seller that they know who you need to target when you're marketing the property online. It even gives you the average household income. So you can use all of this information when you're doing your Facebook ads. So what is the point when you're doing an ad? What information do you want to include in there? So you want to include things that make the home stand out, not stuff that they can just read on a listing page. What is the best feature of the house? You don't have to include everything when you're doing ads, just the features that will actually help somebody click on a link, basically. So you can send them to either your website. If you have a website and you have a blog, definitely do a featured blog on that listing, on every listing you have. So if you're doing ads, you can either send them to that blog page which hopefully will generate more interest for you and get you more listings, or you can do the custom site on Paradigm, whichever you prefer. Personally, if I've enhanced the Paradigm one, I would send it there because it also has a lead generation aspect to it. So if a buyer is in there, they can actually give you their information, and then you can touch base with them later. But if you do the featured blog post, that's a great way to get people to your website. You just need to have a persuasive call to action. They need to want to know more about the house. They need to want more information. And you can do that by telling a story, and assume always that someone viewing that property is not just a buyer, that it's a prospective seller. And doing these things will sell them on your services. All right. I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of the communication that we have and that mindset that we have when posting stuff online. It's not about you, no offense. But I see it all the time. People say, my listing, check out my new listing. You really need to kind of switch that to, this home has an awesome, talk about the house instead of what you have or what you've done. So this home has an awesome 3-car garage that is decked out, it has shelves and all that stuff, but it also happens to be for sale. It's not about you, it's about the house, and it's about the story of that house. So why should the consumer care that you have a new listing? Tell them why. Is it priced below market value? Are there cool updates? Find that differentiating factor and highlight those things. Also, that may not be may not be visible when they're just looking at a listing or even walking through the house. If you have smart devices in the house that save money and energy, you need to highlight those things. And you can do that by either video or putting that in the description. Okay, so when you've got all the CBX data, you know who you're going to market to, and you're going to go on Facebook and do ads. Hopefully, the thing with Facebook is that every time I go to these Coldwell Banker conferences, they actually have Facebook representatives there, and pretty much For the last couple of years, they say that business pages get very little organic reach. You're going to have to pay for people to see your ads, especially if it's on a business page. Their algorithm just does not allow for you to not pay them for that. So this is an ad that I did for a listing that we had last year. The beauty of Facebook is that it actually tells you how well your ad is doing. So under the relevance score, the relevance score is a rating from 1 to 10 that estimates how well your target audience is responding to your ad. So that score is shown after your ad gets more than 500 impressions. I have the relevance score of 10 here. So which means that my ad, the description I have in my ad and the photo matches perfectly with the target audience that I've set on Facebook. So for this particular ad, I took the CBX data and plugged it into Facebook for an open house, and it worked really well. So this actually ran for 3 days. And so from July 6th through to the 8th or something like that. And within those 3 days, I had, 9,500 impressions and over 1,000 people took action, which meant they either clicked on a link, they clicked on a photo, they clicked on my page, or whatever it is. So this was a really successful ad, and the cost per result is lower the better your ad is. So right here, this first one, it says it's 5 cents per result, which is actually really, really good. I did 2 different photos for this ad. That's another thing you can do with Facebook is you can play with, the photos and see which photo engages the consumer better. So the photo underneath was a photo of the front of the house, and then the one that actually did really well was a photo of the pool in the backyard, and because it showed you, it was in the middle of summer, so it showed you how refreshing the pool was, and it just engaged the consumers much better than the front one. So I ended up turning off the front of the house photo after a while because it was clear that everybody was engaged on the other one. So you can, do some testing and see which one performs better. Yeah, I think that's it for that. But yeah, it's 75 bucks. We actually found the buyer through this ad and this open house. So that's a really cool story using CBX big data and then, plugging that into social media. All right, so I think just a quick reminder of the stuff that we've gone over. You can send seller feedback. Oh, actually, I didn't talk about that. One of the things that you should automate is sending seller feedback automatically via showing time. That way you don't have to worry about forwarding it to your seller. It's just, you don't have to think about it. It's going to automatically happen. Your seller reports on realtor.com, that can be sent automatically with Zillow. I think you can do that manually, and if you have a paid Zillow account, that's when you can do it automatically. Your tours are automatically generated on Paradigm, and the video on Paradigm will automatically be sent to realtor.com. So we have that as a company setting. That way you don't have to worry about sending all that to realtor.com. Social postings on Paradigm, that can be done automatically, but you can also schedule them, schedule the postings, for however long you need to. And with Paradigm, you actually have to make sure to change the status. So once it pulls it and it's active, it will change it to pending, but you need to change it to sold or actually delete the tour once the house sells if you don't want it, just hanging out there online. I love, love, love this quote. I found it a while back because it's a good reminder for us when we're creating ads or doing any kind of marketing. Everything we do, honestly, in real estate is marketing. But it's just a good reminder that nobody reads ads. People read what interests them. Sometimes it's an ad. So you have to make things interesting for people. All right, so another thing you can do after you get the listing is creating home books. And you can do that through the Cloud CMA Flyer tab. That gives you a good start to your home book. So it has all of the, it has a cover that you can choose a template that you want. It has all your contact information. It has all the MLS information and all the beautiful photos that you've posted. And then you can add to it if you want to. Or you can create your own with Canva. And I'm going to show you an example of what we've done for one of our listings. This is the same house that we did the Facebook ad with. Some of the information that you want to put in your home books is the plat, if you have it, the floor plan, improvements, any improvements that they've done in the house, utility information, and that just means, the contact information, not the average utilities for the house. Any neighborhood amenities and the RPI report about the neighborhood. And let me see if I can pull that now. Okay. So this is a home book that I did for this property. This is done through Canva, but again, you can do this on Cloud CMA. Just pull whatever Cloud CMA has done and just add the RPR report or whatever you want to it. But because I'm me, I want to create my own, and it's just the way it is. Canva is free, by the way, so you can create your own free account if you want. All right, so I basically just, I took all of the information that we have from the MLS and just plugged it into a template that is just better to look at. So there's information about the house. I put the map where it's located and, some restaurants around it. It's convenient, close to 95 and close to the VRE. There's some of the photos, and just I did a quick description of all the photos on the page. Talk about the kitchen. Actually, the house needed a little bit of updating, but there's a lot of good features about it, so make sure to focus on that. A lot more photos, and then this is the improvements. The sellers did a ton of work in the house, and we wanted to make sure that the buyer knows that they don't have to replace the HVAC or they don't have to worry about the roof because that's already done. And this same list went to the appraiser when they were doing the appraisal, so that they can take that into consideration when they're pricing the property. We pulled the RPR report. So this one took literally 30 seconds to pull the report on the neighborhood. So we've just included this in the home book. So this home book is in the house for any buyers that are interested. Now, not everybody is going to, not every buyer is going to pick it up, but only the really interested ones will. And it's worth taking the time to do this. It shows the seller that you're doing everything you can to market the property. And also you can use this piece to then, show as an example when you're going for another listing appointment. All right. Okay, another quote that I love, and again, it kind of shows where we are now with with social media and using that to engage consumers. Stop interrupting what people are interested in and be what people are interested in. So that's really awesome. I'm going to show you guys real quick before we leave the new CBX design. So when you're logged into CBX and you start a new property, you're going to see all of these pages. Again, on the side here, this is where you can choose what information is going to be included in that CBX presentation. If you don't want to use CBX for the presentation, if you already have your own PowerPoint or Keynote one that you've used for a long time, I still suggest you go into CBX and pull the buyer profile data that they've provided for you. One of the key differences, let's see, on the buyer profile, I lost my mouse. Wow, so much trouble. Okay, click edit here. Okay, so on the buyer profile, this is a big difference than what we had before. So before you had the 3 counties automatically selected, either you include that information or you don't. What's nice about the new CBX is that you can actually choose which counties you want to show. Before, they also didn't have the county where the house is in, because that's pretty much a given that people are going to move within the county. So that's where you're going to get most of your buyers from. but they've included that in here. So I can just pick and choose which counties to include in the actual presentation. And this is the overlays that you can choose. And if I don't, care about homes occupied by renters, I'm just going to unclick that. All right, and hit done. You can download all these pages as a PDF. So if you want to just download, the buyer intelligence pages, you can just uncheck everything and click on, the buyer profile intelligence and the buyer profile map. But it's actually a really cool listing presentation if you're not using anything or if you want to try something new. It looks really professional and it works really well. But this is the buyer intelligence is going to be the most important part of CBX. So check out the new CBX design. And I think that's it. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to ask any questions if you have any. And if you don't, let me see if I can find the little questions tab. There it is. Oh, okay. Apparently I lost sound at some point. Hopefully there's still sound right now. And I've been talking for like 40 minutes by myself. If you guys have any questions and you don't want to ask, you can just email me anytime. But I hope I've given you some information, about the tools that we have and how to use them. And I'm going to stick around for a couple minutes in case anybody has any questions. And if not, I hope you guys have an awesome day. All right, I don't think we have anything. So, oh, wait. Is there going to be CBX specific training? Actually, yes. Poppy did a couple of sessions for CBX training, but that was before we found out that they were doing a redesign. So yes, we're going to be doing another set of training sessions for CBX. All right, guys, thank you. Happy Friday, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.